Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review of the Friday the 13th franchise, and reviewing on Halloween month. And next up is the next installment is Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Released in the next year after Part 4, 1985. Directed by a guy by the name of Danny Steinmann. Looking up, he directed like a porno film, I guess, and then he directed a film called Savage Streets, starring Linda Blair. But the Friday the 13th Part 5, a new beginning. They were originally, since the previous one was a hit and that Jason was dead. They were originally gonna have a new Friday the 13th one, has a new villain, make a new trilogy though. But considering that even though the film was #1 on opening weekend, was #1, but it made 21 million, much less than the previous one though, because people were expecting Jason again, and there was no Jason in this. So that's why it was not well received, because of the lack of Jason that was in this film, especially by the fans of the franchise. But I still like the movie. I still like a new beginning. You have the character of Tommy Jarvis coming back, but except it's played by it's years later, because Tommy is much older, and he's played by John Shepherd. Although you do, at the opening of the movie, you do have Corey Feldman still playing the young Tommy Jarvis. But he only did it for the opening because at the same time, during this, I think it was the same year, 1985, that he was doing the Goonies. So he only did that for the opening dream sequence, because the opening of the film, where it shows young Tommy in the pouring rain, where he sees these two guys digging up Jason's grave, and they get killed. And it looks like he was going to kill him too, but then it's a dream where older Tommy, John Shepherd, wakes up. So, but I think that the guy who played John Shepherd, who played the older Tommy, I thought he did a pretty good job in this film. And actually, I think he didn't remember him talking that much in the movie, because in the film he's traumatized by what happened in Part 4, so he's like more of a quiet guy. But it's like how he delivers on his face expression and emotional presence that I thought he did a good job on. So, but the film, yeah, it was not well received, even though it was a hit on a $2 million budget. It made 21 million, which is like the exact amount that it made for like Part 2 did. But critical reception has a 60% Rotten Tomatoes and a 4.9 IMDb, so it was much less than the previous ones though. But it still has gained a cult following over the years, so people have eventually come to liking the film. But I guess not at the time though. But over the years it has been. But yeah, this is a film that basically has no Jason in it. Although Tommy sees Jason as hallucinations though, but really it's a copycat. It's a copycat killer posing as Jason. But as Tommy, he's traumatized by the events of the previous film. You know, he is sent to this it's like a halfway house, but it's like a rehabilitation center for all these other people that's like had problems with, and he meets this boy Reggie, played by Shavar Ross. I thought the kid did a good job as well. I don't think. Yeah, he was not an annoying little kid. I thought he did a pretty good job. I liked him. And other people, we got like this hillbilly redneck woman with her son Junior. It's like you shut the fuck up and eat your slop. It's like, oh, you're making us slip, Mama. And one that leads to another, that there was this kid by the name of Joey eating chocolate, and approaches this one guy, which I'm sure a lot of people point out, though, who's this guy who's like, you look at this guy, you can see that he's, mentally unstable, and this guy has an axe, he's chopping wood. I don't know to say that you don't give a guy who looks dangerous a guy giving him an axe and chopping wood. But oh well. But the guy Joey, he was being nice though, but the guy takes the axe and just kills him. And then the paramedics arrive on the scene, as the cops do. And there's one medic by the name of Roy. He gets shocked, which you find out later though, but still. Which everyone's in the film, so you find out that the kid Joey was killed, that's Roy's son, and he was like, no one ever he never mentioned he had a son or anything, with the sheriff explaining at the end. But when we saw we saw Joey dead, it was him who was dead, and to get like this, he kind of looks like he looks up at the camera, like he looks down, then he's like. His eyes look up, and instantly, also a lot of people probably figure that he's the killer, because probably from those crazy eyes that he had. Like I knew right away though, but and then it cuts to an hour where these two guys, these guys in leather jackets, kind of looking like greasers, whatever. One snuck off to take a piss, and one guy was fixing the car. And this unknown figure, posing as Jason, which we know who it is, I thought this film has a much higher body count, than the previous ones. A much higher body count, and some good, interesting deaths, like this one right here, where he kills this one guy with a road flare. He goes to stick it right in the guy's mouth. I was like, oh, Which, in a way, a flare in the mouth, which kind of reminded me in Dead Calm, at the end of the film, where Sam Neill shoots a flare right into Billy Zane's mouth, and part of his head, the back of his head exploded. But so this is like a road flare, and he goes and shoves it right in the guy's mouth, and the other guy gets his throat cut. And then it cuts to where the next victim's up is one of the guy. I guess the guy who was like delivering Tommy to the place. He's really supposed to go on a date with this waitress, and he gets a fair amount of nudity in this. Like for instance, where the waitress goes and zips and like flashes herself in the mirror, and then the other scene with what's her name? Like Debbie Sue Voorhees, the girl who played Tina. Debbie Sue Voorhees. A lot of nudity in that scene. We're in the woods. So yeah, it's like more nudity than the previous films. But with the waitress, the guy that she was with, like smoke up cocaine and stuff, and gets an axe to the head, and then she goes and gets axed right down here. And then you see Tommy. You see, like from time once in a while, you'll see that he hallucinates the scene Jason. And then we get where you get the girl Debbie Sue Voorhees and the other guy. They go off into the woods, and you get this other guy who's like watching them. I guess he was like working on stuff with that redneck family. He's watching, and he turns. He gets stabbed in the stomach. And then with Debbie Sue Voorhees, she's lying there naked while the guy goes out and off somewhere, and she gets like shears right in the eyes, like. And when the guy comes back, sees her, he gets like this. It's like a leather belt, but it's a leather belt wrapped around his eyes, and the guy, the copycat Jason, takes a stick and like turns it, to make more to squeeze the eyes, Now that was another good, interesting death as well. And when it comes nighttime, Reggie and Pam and Tommy, they go to see Reggie's brother. And while they get there, that Hillbilly Junior, on his motorcycle, like, messing with Tommy. And Tommy goes and beats the crap out of him. And he gets all boom, 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 punching him, quick punches, and that's not the first time. Like earlier, when I think that was the guy who had the eye squeezed the tree. He was scaring him with one of his own masks, and he goes apeshit crazy, and goes and flips the guy over and starts hitting him. So Tommy, like, I guess after being traumatized, he knows how to fight, fisticuffs. Goes and flips the guy over, and then he's always fast hands beating up the junior guy. So then he goes and runs off, and Reggie's talking with his brother, Demon, and it's actually played by Miguel Nunez Jr. Miguel Nunez Jr. He was in Carnosaur 2. And I like Miguel Nunez Jr. It's too bad he's never got on huger roles, but mostly supporting roles. He was in, like I said, he was in Carnosaur 2. He was in Return of the Living Dead. He supporting role in Scooby-Doo, and he was in Leprechaun 4 in space, and he lives in that movie, which surprised me. And I'm glad that he lived, as I liked him. And I explained why. You can check out my review of Leprechaun 4 in space. He lives in the movie. But, as they leave, he was going to the toilet because, like, oh, those enchiladas. And he has a girl with her, kind of messing with him, but when he opens the door, finds her dead, throat cut. And the copycat is with his metal rod, kills him, punctures right through him. And then back at the halfway house, there's this one guy who stutters. He gets like a meat cleaver to the face, and the one girl that was looking after Reggie, and she gets she's on top of the bed, and she gets stabbed right through. And the other girl, I think her name was Violet, she's listening to this music, doing some kind of Egyptian style dance, and she's doing this, while the music's playing. I guess she's doing a different style dance because she's Egyptian stuff on her wall. It's there's a mother. I forget what the song is called though, but still. And she was grabbed and stabbed in the stomach. And when Reggie finds the bodies, Pam comes back and she sees the bodies too. They run, but then you get the copycat Jason, which of course, in this film, the Jason mask had these red stripes on here, but in this one though, in this film, the hockey mask has a blue stripe over here. Oh, and I forgot to mention the other ones, the redneck hillbilly family. The junior guy, he's riding his motorcycle screaming like a maniac. Ah! Ah! Then Cleaver decapitates him. And with the woman, it's throwing all this into one pot stew, then a meat cleaver to the face. And then that's when, after the wannabe Jason copycat comes in, they run off. They get separated after finding the ambulance. One of the other medic, the medic from earlier, when they look at Joey's body, he's saying, "Oh, bunch of pussies," Hey Roy, you want to get your hands dirty? That guy, he's dead. Then Reggie and Pam, they get separated. Pam runs into the body of the guy who runs the place. His throat slit, but he has this spike run through his head. And as the guy, name is Richard Young, and that's actually the guy who was in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. At the opening of the film, where he was chasing young Indiana, played by River Phoenix, he gives him the Indiana Jones, the famous Indiana Jones hat to him. That guy is in here from Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. He died when she runs into him, throat slit and the spike through the head. And when she gets in the house, then Reggie's grandfather gets hurled through the window and his eyes are gouged out. And she's running, she falls down, thinks she's gonna die. Then Reggie comes with his bulldozer, hits him. And then they go into the barn. Pam fights him with a chainsaw. And then Tommy comes in. The thing is Jason. You know, you hear like the Tommy's voice, you know, die, die. Gets slashed right here, but he takes a knife and stabs him right up in the upper thigh. And as they climb up into the upper level of the barn, Pam, well, because he sees Reggie, but then Pam steps in, and when it's back to him, Reggie kind of shoves him. You know, he's like, wah! And down below, outside, there are spikes out there. He's trying to push him into the spikes, but he's still hanging on. Tommy, he takes the machete, hits him right in the face, knocks out the mask, and he falls right into the batch of spikes. And you find out that the reveal it's Roy, the paramedic. So now at the hospital, the sheriff is explaining to her that Joey was his son, kept him secret, not telling anybody. And then he found the newspaper clippings of Jason Voorhees. And then you get this ending, how this twist ending. I honestly did not. I don't think this ending was not needed because, first off, Tommy has a hallucination dream when he stabs Pam. When he wakes up, he sees Jason's hallucination, and then he goes to the drawer and finds the mask. Which, why would they keep the mask? Isn't that because either he kept it or someone put it there, which that should have been, you know, if the police were there, they should have put that, like, took that away as evidence, but still, it's in the drawer with them. When Pam comes in, he's wearing the mask with a knife, looks like ready to stab her. And also another thing I forgot to mention, when he gets there, you know, we don't know what happened with his sister Trish. He has a picture of her sister, her mom, his mom, and the dog in the picture as well. So we don't know what happened to his sister. But the ending was like, okay, what is he now? He's too traumatized, and he thinks he's gonna become the next Jason. That ending was not needed. I just didn't care for that though. But still, regardless of that though, part 5 of The New Beginning I still like though. But maybe people did not like, probably still don't because there's no Jason in it. But I know it's not one of the best ones for me though. But I still like it though. It has like some good, interesting kills. A much bigger body count, and the film is on for 92 minutes, so it's still fast-paced. The score, once again, done by Harry Manfredini, who's done all the scores of these films, including Part 6. Some of the characters, you know, like I think that John Shepard did a good job as Tommy Jarvis. Madeline Kinnaman, I thought she did pretty good as Pam. Shavar Ross, who plays Reggie, I liked him too. Yeah. Part 5, A New Beginning. I still like it though, but I do think that Part 3, 4, and 6 are better than this one though, because I like those ones I like sequel-wise, I like more. And including Part 7 as well. But yeah, the whole, which like I said, it underperformed because people didn't like there was no Jason in it, so now they decided to bring it back for Part 6, hence the name Jason Lives. But still, it has still much good, interesting kills and much bigger body count. And so the guy, which is also kind of funny, is that they mentioned Roy. He's posing as Jason. He goes and kills everybody who had nothing to do with Roy's his son's death. Shouldn't he be going after the guy who killed his son with the crazy guy with the axe. Maybe he's thinking, oh, he's arrested, he's in jail, so there's no way I can get to him now, so I'll just go kill everybody for the sake of it who had nothing to do with my son's death. I find that kind of funny because, yeah, he goes after all the people who had nothing to do with his son's death, and he lets the other guy live because he's arrested, so nothing for him he can do. So, that's another funny point I kind of have to laugh at. But yeah, so that's my review of Friday the 13th Part 5 A New Beginning. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one, which has been a favorite among many people, is Jason Lives. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for that. Later.